Hey, Aiden here with Perfect Prospecting. Today I'm going to talk to you about what I'm doing to create leads. Now, we use four different tactics, right? Uh, Alex Hermosi made it kind of popular with the core four, but there's four primary ways in order to do lead generation prospecting. And I'm going to get into one of them today and kind of show you deep dive as to what I actually do. Now, something I want to really make up front and kind of change your perspective a little bit, or some of your perspectives a little bit, is you can't force timing, right? You can't force when someone's ready to buy. And when you try to force someone and be pushy or arrogant, what have you, you kind of alienate them. And there's usually a lot of different options out there. And people will feel justified in moving on and finding someone else. Even if you're the one that created the opportunity, gave them the idea, what have you, people don't like being pushy and being sold to, but they like to buy. So we kind of take that into consideration. But what I really want to focus on is really the gold is in the follow-up. It's in trying to do courtship to define if this person is worthy of you investing the time to potentially get married. Likewise, for them, they're looking at you. Are you worthy for them to invest their time, money, resources to do business with you? There's not a lot of difference in the mindset. So we're trying to do courtship. We're not trying to do booty calls, right? Common knowledge is not common practice, right? And that's the important part, because we need to understand this in order to be able to move forward and create a funnel of healthy potential leads. Now, you'll see that most deals require 6 to 12 touches. Now, anyone that says it's 6 or 12 or even 20, no one really knows. Every single person is different, but it's usually more than once. And we know that most salespeople, 49% of people that are in selling, it could be the business owner who are in selling, 49% quit after one time, and 92% quit after the fifth time. And 80% of sales happen after the fifth follow-up. So there is a big gap between initial contact and getting a customer. And that gap is where people fall over. That gap is the follow-up. You can call it whatever you want, lead nurture, what have you. It's the follow-up. So what I'm going to talk about today is what I call the perfect prospecting system. 10 pillars are to get people willingly into the qualification follow-up process. Segment is another word for qualify. So regardless if we're doing authority posts, warm reactivations, paid amplification, or outbound activation, cold outreach, what we're trying to do is get someone into our system, into Lead 360. And Lead 360 is going to do most of the things for us. Okay, now I'm not going to get into all that today, but we're going to focus on the cold outreach. And cold outreach can be a bunch of things, but it's traditionally and most commonly thought of as cold calling, picking up the phone and calling cold. And it is also cold email outreach. Now, you could say cold SMS, but you can't SMS people without their authorization. And the rules are extremely strict. And most programs that you can do SMS outreach, you have to do A2P registration, show your ID, show that you're a real business, all of those things. So we're going to focus on those two things, on the cold phone calls, cold calling, and the cold outreach. Now, cold calling is tedious. Cold calling is you phoning and maybe talking to 5-10 people a day, maybe more, trying to get past the gatekeeper, all of these things. It's a real grind. Now, does it work? Yes, it works. It has less than a 1% success rate, but it still works. So what we want to do is we want to use this cold outreach platform, way of doing things, because it is a cheaper way to do things. What I mean by that is if you're doing authority posts, you're creating content online, you're posting off to all your social media outlets, and you're hoping someone's going to come to your website and sign up for the newsletter or whatever they're going to do so you get them into your system. Now, does it happen? Does it work? Yes. But you don't have a lot of control over it. It's one to many. You're hoping someone's going to come and you're going to capture their information. And we're going to talk about that at another time. Warm reactivation, dead accounts, old accounts, people that lost bids, that type of thing. They have a familiarity with you, and we're going to talk about that later in a different time. Paid amplification, paid ads, whether it's Google ads or Facebook ads, that works. It's a very good way to grow, get right in front of your ideal customer. However, they're very expensive. Ads are expensive, and you don't have a lot of control. You're putting your message out, and you're hoping someone comes. With outbound activation, you have somewhat of control in the sense that you create it, and then you work everything from beginning to close. So what am I doing, and what's working? And it's something that is continually improving. We're continuing to work on it, trying to make it better, all these things. But what I have found works the best is doing cold email first. If you just pick up the phone and start calling, you are completely a stranger. Other leaders and sales gurus say pick up the phone first. Everyone has their method. There is no necessarily a right way. This is the way I'm doing it. So what are we doing? Well, let me show you what we're doing. We go for cold outreach. We use a different platform than Lead 360. And the reason for that is when you're doing cold outreach by email, with the all the safeguards in place now with Google and Microsoft and these web providers, is that they're very quick to blacklist your email. And what we don't want to do is we don't want to use, number one, your actual URL. So if it's aidenrig.com, you don't want to use aidenrig.com as your email, like info at, as an example. But what we do want to do is we want to get email addresses that are going to help us get into the inbox. But we can only send about 25 to 30 emails per day per email address. So if we have, well, you know what? Let's dive into it and let me show you. So I'm going to go into a platform I use for cold outreach, and I'm going to go to our emails, and you're going to see here that I have emails that are in different processes of warming up. Now, these have been warming up for about 2 weeks. 2 weeks is the minimum. 1 month is ideal. This is a new customer that we've just brought on board. So you're going to see that I just have these dummy emails, and each one can send about 25 to 30 emails a day. Now, you're going to notice that if I have Marcus Holloway at commercialcleaninginc.com as an example, I only have 3 emails with commercialcleaninginc.com. And that's about as many as you want to have. Only about 3 with commercialcleaninginc.com. So I got Marcus Holloway, Marcus Holloway, and Marcus, right? Then I have 3 more under a very similar URL, but slightly different. It's commercialcleaninginc2.com. Marcus Holloway. So now I have 9 email addresses that are going to do about 25 to 30 a day, depending on my list and things like that. So I've got about 250 emails a day that I can send out. Now, we can get more and more and more, but there's a cost. There's a cost of about $5 per month per email address. So this is costing us, the customer, 1, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, $45 a month just for having 9 email addresses. Now, that's over and above the $15 per year, but that's for each one, which is minimal. Now, you need to have this to be successful at your cold outreach. So we have our cold outreach, and then we also have our LinkedIn connections. This one I haven't done for the customer, but we can do LinkedIn, so we can outreach to LinkedIn as well, and we're going to do that. So when I go to the campaign, and go into the campaign, this is just, as you see, I've only uploaded 90. I uploaded 27 to test, and then I uploaded 90 just to continue to test, okay? You're going to see that we have a click rate of 17%. We have a reply rate of 8.7, and we have a bounce rate, which I don't think is legit because I did the email warm-up, but I will look into that. That seems a little high. So what are we doing? We got our 9 email addresses. We have our list of leads. We've uploaded them. Okay, they're right here. Okay, you can see they're not started, what have you, right? So what we do is we go into our emails, and we're going to do our email. Now, what we're going to do here is we're going to do A/B testing. A/B testing means that we are going to test 2 or 3 or 4 different emails and see which one is the best. Now, I'm just going to show you for demo purposes, but here's one email, and you see that the program is showing us at 81%. It says readability, grade 6. Okay. Now, we want to get as low as possible because the average person has about a grade 5 or 4 reading level. So we want to make sure our emails are simple. They're not complicated. The first trick is getting people to open the email and then hopefully to reply. That's what this email is sent for. Can I tell you more? We're hoping they're going to reply, but not a lot of people do reply because it takes effort. There's a trust level, what have you. But all we're looking for is curiosity. Yes, we want someone to put up their hand and say, yes, I'm interested, whatever. Yes. But the second level is a level of interest. So we have a link here. If they click that link, that is a level of curiosity. Okay. So we want to have that in every single one. We're not asking them to click it. It's just kind of like a little bit of a bait over here to see if they do. We have a variation of 90. The email is very simple, a little different, but it's a 90. You see, it's a readability of grade 5. Okay. And then we're going to go to variation C, and we have an 82, and we have a grade level reading of 6. Now, getting over 80 is my goal. Upwards of 90 is great, but that's extremely difficult to get. But you get the gist here. So if we get our email, right, we want to address a problem. So I'm going to add one as an example to show you. So I have a third one here. I'm just going to put the subject line as curious. That seems to work well. But this is just a demo. I'm not actually going to use it. So now I have the email I'm going to create. I'm going to go first name. Now, what is a great way to do an email? Well, it depends on who your target market is, but let's use ChatGPT. I want a cold outreach email that targets facility managers in the cleaning sector. Use the agitate process with a TTA of can I tell you more. Use 3 bullets of common issues they experience in hiring a cleaning company in the commercial sector. So I'm just showing you what we do. Obviously, you spend a lot of time. This is a guideline. You don't just cut and paste. But this is going to be a little long. I can already tell. But let me show you what I mean. Let's copy it and drop it in here. Okay, I'm going to do that. I'm going to go, can I tell you more? You can see we have a 41. Why? It's too long. I knew that look. Now, reduce by at least 50% and make it read at a grade 2 level. So let's just see how this performs. I'm going to go on here. Oops. I just copied the same thing. So let's go back. Let me read this again. And here. Right here. So you can see we have a 73. Now I would like to make it better, but for just demo purposes, I'm just going to stick with this today. What I would do here is I would save. Okay. Now I'm not going to ask them to click it, but that's my little hook there, right? So we now have an email campaign of 3 different emails. It's going to pick which one's the best after, and then after email 2, after it does email, it's going to wait 2 days to do the second email, so on and so forth. We can make this as long as we want, but this is just for demonstration purposes today. So now we have the 3 emails going out. We want to just only get interested people. So if I get out of here, right, and I'm going to confirm, okay, and I'm going to go into my campaign, and again, I've only done 90. 66%'s gone out with a 17% open rate. So we tested with 10, we tested the next day with 11, and we tested the next day with 13. And this is just testing to make sure everything's flowing properly. But let me show you what I mean. So here we go to the leads, and I go into my filter, and I look, and I don't want the number of opens because opens doesn't mean a lot. But the number of clicks. I didn't ask anyone to click. Now, I want people to reply, but they don't reply too much. So let's see. If I go replies, I had 2 replies. Now, they could be automated replies. Not sure. But for this video, I just want to show you on the clicks. So we go to the minimum number of clicks. Okay. So minimum number of clicks, 1. Minimum number of clicks, 2. Others now goes to 2 people. Okay. Number of 3 goes to no one. So let's just go to minimum clicks of 1 just to show you. So these people have clicked. So what we do is we integrate with Lead 360, and now we're going to take these people out of the cold outreach and put them as a cool lead. They go into the system and they become a cool lead. We've captured them now, right? We go to Lead 360, and here we have 4. We have 4 people: Kate, Katie, Sarah, Teresa, Kate, Katie, Kayla. They're in there. Now, once they're in here, we can do whatever we want. We can then do more one-to-one cold outreach. We can have a campaign. We can put them into, we can phone them. We can do whatever we want. But we've taken them from cold, and now we have someone that's clicked, and we can do a one-to-one. Now, if they reply, even better. But for this demonstration, I'm just showing you that they have clicked. So that is the system we have. Okay. So we've gone from outbound activation, and now we have them into the captured. We've captured them into Lead 360, and now we have campaigns. We can outreach to them. But what we want to do is, all they've done is click. There's curiosity there. We most likely, almost for sure, have the right person. So we can automate, or we can do one-to-one. It's depending on you. But what we want to do is we want to make deposits into their life. We want to add value, not withdrawals. Can I buy? No one wants that. All this person has done is swiped left or swiped right, whatever it is, on apps, on dating apps. That's all they've done. But there's now you reach out on a one-to-one basis, whether or not it's automated and appears one-to-one or it's one-to-one. It depends on you, the target market, and the strategy. But you now have them in the system. Now you don't have a whole bunch of cold leads that mean nothing, people that are going to clog up your inbox, going to waste your time, what have you. All we have here is someone that has demonstrated a level of interest to maybe have a conversation or to invest one-to-one salespeople's time. So that is what we want to do. We want to create a system regardless of what we're doing. We just want someone to put up their hand, right? I'm interested to hear more. They didn't say anything. They just clicked. So if we all of a sudden said, oh, we got a hot one on the line and start trying to close, people don't want to be sold to, but they want to buy. So all they've done is nibbled on our line. Okay. If we're fishing, they've just nibbled. Okay. So we want to catch them on the hook. We want to continue to put the bait in front of them, value added things. Maybe it's a video, maybe it's a offer, maybe it's a quiz, maybe it's a survey, maybe it's information they don't know. But that's what we can do to help them, to help us grow our business. So we started with our cold outreach. We have them into our system, and now we let the system capture, nurture, segment. And I'll go into the nurture segment in the next session, piggybacking off of this one. But now that they're in the system, now we do things. We send messages out to them. We nurture them. We follow up. And based on if they open, click, watch, what have you, we know. And so we evaluate them. We qualify them. We segment them based on what they're doing, whether or not they stay cool, go warm, or become very hot. And then when they become very warm to hot, sales gets involved, and we pick up the phone and we try to get a meeting. So I hope you found this of value. This is what I'm doing for our teams, doing for our customers. And we're focusing on the 4 demand pillars. And all we're trying to do is use the demand pillars to have them put up their hand and get them into our system, and then allow automations, systems, AI, everything to warm these people, to move them through the funnel. That's our goal. So that is the aspect of perfect prospecting system from the cold email outbound activation process. I hope you found this of value. Click the link below and like, follow, and comment. And I look forward to seeing you, talking with you, engaging with you in the future.